What's up, my Essential Units? It's Essential Mac here. So this is my review of Monday Night Raw for the 11th of August, 1997. This show, I'm gonna butcher this place, be Oxy, Mississippi. Sorry, I can't really pronounce it. I'll get to my thoughts of this episode of Raw at the end of this review. So the show kicked off with JR interviewing the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Another good promo by HBK. Yeah, he brings up, the SummerSlam main event, Undertaker versus Bret Hart with him, Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. I done a good job, if the people of the World Wrestling Federation have some cojones and take some responsibility. But they, what was it, something like dumping the lap over me, something like that, It brings up Mankind, for this show. And he called Vince a Nimrod, because he didn't have the chance to call him, saying like he's gonna face Mankind. Um, so anyway, so he said to The Undertaker, he said, I'm going to face the guy that beats you up, because going back to the rivalry between Undertaker and Mankind from 1996 and the early parts of 1997. So, he's like, he beat you, I beat him, I could beat you, we'll get to Ground Zero next time. So, anyway, so and he kind of and also he said about like he is a outlaw because he's in the day that he has hit lists. Anyway, so he said to he kind of confront Sergeant Slaughter, the commissioner of the World Wrestling Federation. Said about like if you said about like sticking his huge enormous chin and hogging the spotlight and yeah. So, anyway, so Sean was just pissing about, trying to be, I think it's the first time showing up more of that personality and that funny side of HBK. He said about like, don't make me do chin-ups or something like that. He's pretending doing chin-ups. Yeah, he said about like, I'm downright, I'm gonna stick my chin, in your business, He said about like the spotlight, I've been in more spotlights than you can't even count how many there were. And he said like what I do, what I say, strictly for the World Wrestling Federation, not Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels is basically pretending like he's wiping spit around his face. I like Shawn's mannerisms. And I think he called him Commissioner Gordon. Because I think at the time, because of the Batman movie, maybe it's just came out at the time, or maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe it's maybe later on in the year. Yeah, it's been a long time. That Batman and Robin movie, with was it George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, no, you got the previous Batman movies from 1989 with Michael Keaton. And yeah, you got 1992, and then you got Batman. I think it was Batman Forever with Finn Kima and Val Kilmer. My apologies, and Jim Carrey. So so anyway, so he said like I think one step ahead. He's doing like the mannerisms is really good with Shawn Michaels, and he said that like he's he said he's got like an insurance policy. And so and anyway, so I think he said I'm gonna super sweet chin music, Mankind, and yeah, and no one's gonna do it. Yeah, and also said, and also I think he's in that promo said about like people are gonna like me or against me. I'm totally fine. And also there were fans were chanting what was it Sean is gay or something like you're so gay. Ask your mama and your sister, how gay am I? Wow, you're never going to see, no one will do that in today's professional wrestling product whether in a major, in a mainstream wrestling company, whether it's WWE or AEW or Impact Wrestling, you will never like fans doing that chant. Maybe in the Indies, whether it's in the UK, in the United States, wherever. But it's just like Sean delivered that good zing, Ash your mama and his sister how can I, and yeah, Sean kind of like appealed to girls. He's like I think he got more. I think the male fans got more of the respect. When he came back in 2002, but I think back then his demographic is more for kids, and girls, not for the men demographic. Um. Yeah, it was a good promo. So moving on to the first match of the night. So the first match of the night, this is a country whipping match. We got Henry O'Godwin, one half of the Godwins, with Phileas, his kayfabe brother, in his corner, taking on Road Warrior Hawk with Animal also in his corner. So still continue this rivalry between the Godwins and the Legion of Doom. For me on paper, I thought this is going to be a clusterfuck. I'm not a big fan of strap matches and chain matches, but to be honest, this was a good match, a decent good match. The Wimps played played a part in this match. You had a Bulldog and Owen on commentary says, said about the only straps we're getting is the tag team titles. They announced there being the fatal four-way match at Ground Zero. We'll get to that. We'll get to Ground Zero next time. After I review two more Raws, leading up to Ground Zero. That'll be next week. Ground Zero, my review of Ground Zero is next week. Anyway, so so the match was good. And this is supposed to be anything goes. The match ended in disqualification. You had Phileas, the future Midian, part of the Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness, attack Animal, and then Animal clothesline. I think it was one of the Godwins that caused a DQ. And one part of the match, they did like this hangman spot, like trying to break the neck of Hawk, because he injured the neck of Henry. It was a few months ago. So the match, I don't get why it's a DQ, because this is anything goes. No time limit. But besides the DQ, I think it was not a great match, and it's not going to be like a 4-star classic, but it was a decent, good match to not really kick off Monday Night Raw, because the promo segment with HBK really kicked off Monday Night Raw. And also, you had Owen and Bulldog, bring up who's going to face the Patriots. They, both of them challenge the Patriot in a match later on tonight. We'll get to that match later on in this review. So let's move on to the next match. So the next match, we got Scott Pusky taking on Tony Williams. This is a light heavyweight division match. The light heavyweight division, holy shit, they never give it like some respect. Anyway, so no, the match was a filler. It's more about there was a video clip of Marlena and Goldust producing of Brian Pillman. There's one funny scene like you had Slaughter knocking on Pillman's door, giving him the dress, says, "This is your ring gear," and Pillman says, "This is not my ring. This is not a ring gear. This is the dress. This is your ring gear until you win a match on Raw." Kind of like it, and also it's all about They did a video. There was a video security footage of Pillman getting frustrated to put on the dress. I like that. That was kind of funny and entertaining. Then this match. Anyway, Pussy got the victory. Hit the Polish hammer onto Tony Williams, and that was it. So. Let's talk about Flash Funk versus Brian Pillman. Pillman's wearing a golden dress this time. I think it's Marlena's, because Marlena, that's Terry Reynolds, by the way. He's basically doesn't want to compete in a match. Slaughter forced him. Pillman wearing the dress. That's kind of funny. I kind of like it. It's not a burial. I think it's funny. He doesn't want to be in the dress. It's kind of entertaining. The match was okay. It was okay-ish. Yeah, and during this match, yeah, Slaughter says, Owen and Bulldog, they're going to be in a tag team match against the Patriot and his mysterious opponent. Anyway, so you had, yeah, after the Pusky Williams match, you had Slaughter confront, I think they confront Pillman, not Pillman, Goldust and Marlena. They're on commentary. Something that has to do with, exposing a security footage of Pillman trying to put on the dress. But anyway, so they showed up on the Titantron, showing the same clip of Pillman frustrating to put on the dress. So anyway, so Flash Funk got the victory, rolled up Brian Pillman. Until he wins a match on Raw, he remains wearing a dress. So okay match, it's just what it is. So moving on to Dude Love, Vince McMahon interviewing Dude Love, my apologies. He brings up Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he said about Austin's gonna be fine, calling him the Iceman. Don't know why is the reference. Maybe maybe it's his potential. Everyone knows the original plan for Austin. There were never plans the company using Steve Austin, because he was Steve Austin in WCW and ECW. They kind of give him some eyes gimmick. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Is it trying to be their version of Glazer in WCW? I don't know. I don't know what that was the original ideas for Austin. There were never plans to push in Austin. I don't want to get into it for this video, in this review, but it's another story for another time. Anyway, so he brings up they bring up the opponents of the Fatal 4-Way. He said to the Godwins, says they don't know hit until they smoke it. With Pillman, no, keep saying, yeah, god damn it, keep saying Pillman. With Owen and Bulldog, they said they Austin hate more. When it goes to the Fatal 4, the Final 4, whatever he's called, yeah, it's Fatal 4, but it says they need more than one line. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. Anyway, he's a good promo, Mick Foley, but yeah, and when it had gone towards the main event between Shawn Michaels and Mankind, they both love to party. Mankind's gonna rock and roll with this wooded hippie Shawn Michaels. When Mankind puts the mandible claw into his gullet, the party is over, and then Shawn Michaels on the Titantron says, someone needs to knock him out. He needs to wake up into the 21st century. Called him a Nimrod. It says, you're not me, you're not you. Mankind's gonna show. He's gonna gonna see the insurance policy. We'll get to the main event. So anyway, he says, whether it's Dude Love or Mankind, whether you are, he said he's gonna switch your music down your foot down your throat, and that was it. So anyway, I'm trying to keep it short and simple. If I remember the whole promo, or trying to remember the whole promo, will take me a long time. Trying to keep my reviews minimum. Trying to make it 20. Trying to be 25 to half an hour period for these Raw reviews. Anyway, so moving on to the next match. So the next match, this is a tag team match. British Bulldog and Owen Hart taking on the Patriot, Dale Wilkes, and his mysterious opponent. And his mysterious opponent is the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock. Before that, you had they did this flag off. You had Patriot waving the American flag. You had Owen waving the Canadian flag, and Bulldog waving the British flag. They ended up doing the flag off. That was kind of cool. Anyway, the match was good. I really enjoyed this match. It was short, they made it what it is, most of it. I think it's about 10 minutes. Some people, maybe they're older than mine. I'm 28, by the way. Maybe there's some giving ones and twos. For me, I give it just 3. I think it was a good match. you had Owen and Bulldog, ganging up on, Shamrock, and then Shamrock, and also, Shamrock tagged in the Patriot for the hot tag. You had like Bret Hart watching this match he was watching on the TV, behind the scenes, not behind the scenes, backstage, probably in his dressing room, and then he's trying to attempt to interfere, and then Slaughter stopped them, and then, yeah, there's conversation between Pillman, I keep saying fucking Pillman's, my apologies, uh, Owen and Shamrock. So, in the end, Patriot hit Bulldog with, I think it was a full Nelson slam for the victory. I think they were going for like one of them, Owen or Bulldog, trying to hit the Patriot with the chair, but Patriot thwarted it, hit his finisher, and that was it. It's just basically they're trying to build up the Patriot to face Bret Hart at Ground Zero. We'll get to more of that. We've got two more. After this Raw review, we've got two more Raw reviews to go. Anyway, so I think, anyway, yeah, so, yeah, they had this video package of Bret Hart in Canada. It's a shame you will never get like a wrestler from a foreign country getting that praise like Bret Hart. He's having the parade with the championship. There've been some fans in Canada singing the Canadian national anthem, but I'm trying to keep talking about briefly. Yeah, and Patriot did the promo, says the win tonight wasn't a fluke. Bret, you're not unbeatable, unbreakable. And then, he got tapped by the Patriot. Bret tapped the Patriot, Dale Wilkes. It's a shame, like they just call him the Patriot. Yeah, it's just what it is, They just called him by his real name, Dale Wilkes. It's a shame he died. He died, I think it's last year. Unlucky for him. It's just sad. He's dead. He's no longer with us. Anyway, so so moving on to the next match. The next match we got Farouk taking on Chains. That's Brian Lee. I think he's the former fake Undertaker. Anyway, so they bring up last week's Raw when the Nation's turning on Farouk. Farouk had a match against Chains, and then he got the win. And afterwards, the Nation's attacked. The Nation of Domination members, Farouk, D'Lo Brown, Kama, they basically attacked Ahmed Johnson and kicked him out of the group again. So what's the point of him be part of the group? And then it's not like he lost the match. He won the match. He got kicked out. Yeah, he got injured again. So anyway, the match was just nothing special. Chains, I don't know. Farouk was kind of lost in some momentum. Anyway, so Chains accidentally hit the referee. That is Brian Hebner. Yeah, we got the return of Rocky Maivia, the future The Rock. First time back since the spring. He suffered a knee injury. The Rock brought his knee injury in his promo against John Cena in 2013. So anyway, he came out. He came from the crowd, I think, and hit Chains with the future rock bottom, and then Farouk pins Chains for the win, and then The Rock, Rocky Maivia is the new member of the Nation of Domination. He's a new member of the Nation of Domination. My apologies. So, this is a turning point for Dwayne The Rock Johnson, because he was the blue chipper. Rocky Maivia was not getting out anywhere. His original gimmick was stupid, and then this is a turning point. He'd be part of the Nation of Domination, and he become the leader of the nation, and then he became the People Champ. People Champ. Multiple time WWF Champion, and he went on to become the biggest star, not just in professional wrestling, but in Hollywood today. So, that was the turning point. And Rock was a bit buff. Right now he's super buff right now because of the movies, but he was a bit buff, and then by the time in the late 90s, going into the early 2000s, he had a bang average physique. And then The Rock always change his appearance. You know, whether it's his hair and his body, it's just what it is. So anyway, let's move on to the next one. So originally you had a cameo appearance of Sable. This is before the whole Mark Marrow Sable storyline. That'll be the following year in 1998. So you had the Patriot calling out Brett, and then Brett and Patriot brawl. Then the numbers game kind of catch up with the Patriot. You got members of the Hart Foundation joining the brawl, beat down the Patriot. That was Owen, Bulldog, Pillman. No Neidhart. I don't know what happened to Jimmy Anvil Neidhart. Is he injured? I don't know. So yeah, Brett choke out the Patriot with the Canadian flag. I think like people want to see the Patriot win the title, but the call conclusion, you know, of course Brett's gonna win. Brett is going to win. You know, like no disrespect Del Rooks. I think he tried to make the gimmick work. You know, he came out with the future Kurt Angle theme music. You know, it was good, but the problem is, it's just a bad gimmick. It's just one of these gimmicks that's really a shame if you're ashamed to be a wrestling fan. So anyway, so moving on to the main event. Before that, early on you had The Undertaker making his appearance. He said like, you know, he answered Shawn Michaels, you know, because Shawn asked Taker to invite him to watch his match with The Undertaker. Mankind, my apologies. Yeah, Shawn said to The Undertaker to invite him to watch his match with Mankind. You know, yeah, Taker says, I accept, you know, it's not necessary to bring his assurance policy unless it's a burial insurance. You will rest in peace. You know, that was kind of a good line for The Undertaker. Burial insurance. You know, you don't see a lot of charisma of The Undertaker. He's not known for that, so... Anyway, so there was like, and also there was like a footage of a scene with Shawn Michaels talking with his assurance policy. And this, you can tell it's Rick Rude, you know, and then Shawn says, just get out of here, you know. I think back then, probably people don't really follow the ECW product, you know. That's not Rick, you know, that's not Rick Rude. It could be someone else, but, anyway, why they did that... It just gave it away. So anyway, so let's talk about, and also Mankind cut a promo before the main event match. He said about wanting to see Shawn Michaels. You know, I got a lump on my throat. That's emotional. And he said to Shawn that, you know, when you get a lump on your throat, that's not yeah, that's not your, you know, that's not your lump. Actually, Mankind's promo was a bit off. He said about like something about like lumps and liver. Yeah, he said that's not emotional. That's just a liver pulling out or something like that. I don't know. That's a crap promo of Mankind. It doesn't really make any sense. No disrespect with Mick Foley. He's a good promo. You know, a good mic talk, a good talker. But it's just like that. You can tell that's just purposely written. But anyway, let's talk about the main event. Main event was match of the night. You had the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels taking on Mankind. I really enjoyed this match. You know, really like it. You know, to bring up the match of the year from the previous year, that was at In Your House in September, and they didn't show the footage of Shawn and Mankind, their first meeting in the previous year in 1996. You know. Because back then in 1996, you know, Mankind was heel, Shawn was the babyface. This time the roles are reversed. You know, Mankind's the babyface and Shawn is the heel. So the match was good, like I said. You had Mankind grabbing the bin. You had while on the match, Shawn placed the bin or the trash can. You know, we call it a bin in the UK. You know, Americans call it a trash can. Placed the bin in the around Mankind, hit him with a crossbody. They bring up ECW because I think they bring up like that ECW pay-per-view because at the time WWF was in a working relationship with ECW. So Shawn did like a move. I think it was a dive onto the. I think it was a diving elbow onto the announce table. This time it did not break. Anyway, so we had Helmsley in China. You came down to the ring. It was really good, really good. It was physical. And also when John hit Mankind in the head, kind of slammed his head in the ring post, that was physical. That was just sick. It was a very physical match. Yeah, we got the return of Ravishing Rick Rude in the World Wrestling Federation for the first time since 1990. Because the reason why, because he left the company days before Survivor Series 1990 due to pay disputes. He had the runs in WCW in the Indies. He had a run in ECW. I think he was a commentator and a personality. Now in his return to the company, he cannot wrestle because he retired in 1994. He had that career-ending injury against Sting in Japan. Because I said in my review of Spring Stampede '94. Go and check it out. He had Sting did like that splash. He did that dive, and it was it wasn't botched. It was and Rude's back kind of land awkwardly on some kind of platform, so very unlucky. But anyway, so you got interference by Helmsley because at the time he was feuding between Mick Foley and Triple H. In the end, I think Mankind locked in the mandible claw onto Shawn Michaels. So in the end, Rude hit Mankind with the chair. I think Shawn hit the screeching music for the win. And then we got The Undertaker because they face each other at Ground Zero. And then we got Paul Bearer. He says, the time is may come, Kane is coming. And then you got the red lights, that'll be, you can tell that Kane is may coming. I think back then people are speculating what Kane's going to be look like. So we'll get to Bad Blood in October. In a couple weeks' time, we're nearly in October, so. Anyway, so my final rating for this episode of Monday Night Raw, I give it an 8. This was a good show. Really, this was a good show to me. The wrestling was good. The promo, I like Pillman, the security footage of Pillman struggling to put on the dress. That was entertaining, but besides that, nothing in the bad. Yeah, I get it was a good show to watch and review.